So for part D of this one, I should have that ready first, sorry. For part D, it is asking us, so C asks for the x-intercepts, so that would have been negative 4, 0, 0, 0. D is asking the same thing. The zeros are the x-intercepts, they're just asking for it as a list. So for part C, you would have written negative 4, 0, and 0, 0 as the places it was crossing the x-axis. For the zeros, it's more of an x equals as opposed to ordered pairs, is what that's asking for, so it would just be negative 4, comma 0. It's those x values. And that's it for that piece. And then J and K, let's see, so J wants where it's greater than 0, and K wants where it's less than 0. Okay. So if we're looking for where, back there for just a second, actually write this down. This is asking for r of x greater than 0 or less than for the next part. R of x is the output. We put in x's into a function and we get out r of x's. So you can read this as, in terms of graphing, where are the y values greater than 0? So the y values can be greater than 0 any place the graph is above the x-axis. So like for instance, when x is negative 2, if we put negative 2 in there, we get out 1, and 1 is greater than 0. So it's asking basically where is it above the x-axis. So for the greater than, which I think was the first one, and it doesn't have equals to, so we don't want to include the endpoints, that's going to go from negative 4 to 0, or that interval right there. For the less than, that one's going to be a little more involved because it's the whole rest of the graph. So where is the function less than 0, or where is the function below the axis? That's going to do, this goes on to infinity. There isn't an arrow there, but it's implied. So it's going to go all the way from negative infinity up to negative 4, because all that distance, the graph is below the axis. So from negative infinity to negative 4, again, no equals, so we want to use a parenthesis. And then we need to skip over this bit, so we're going to use a union. And then here at 0 again, it dips back down below, and then does that until 7. So notice again, I'm using the x values. I'm describing the interval on what it's not, I'm describing the interval on which it's happening, not how high or how low. So it's below the axis from 0 to 7. So that would look like that. Let me know if you still have questions.